When them bitch at they were popping. They were popping. Now we popping, you hear me? It's a problem. Say five, this $100 million shit going on. We ain't going back and forth with no nigga, no bitch. And I still got the same color.
When they were on top, they were glowing for real. Now it's our time to step into that light. You hear people bragging about plaques, numbers, and millions like everything has to be a scoreboard. But we're not folding for nobody, no matter who's in front of us. And yeah, that same energy is still here. Nothing changed. What's good, gang? Your boy back again with another one. Today we're diving into some heavy street drama that's got the whole internet buzzing. We're talking about Pooh Shiesty throwing shots at NBA YoungBoy during a live stream, and how the 4KT camp responded in a way that made everything escalate fast. This isn't just standard rap tension anymore. This situation looks like it could turn real serious. But before we break down what's happening right now, let's rewind for a second and talk about where Pooh Shiesty really came from. Because to understand the moment, you've got to know he's been standing solid since day one.
We gotta do this shit one time for our little bro Shiesty one time, right? When I say free, I want y'all to say Shiesty. Free! Free! Free!
This Memphis rapper isn't your typical industry-made star. He's been grinding from the jump, staying true to his roots. His real name is Rylan Williams. He grew up in the Cane Creek Apartments in South Memphis, just a short 15-minute drive from where legends like Young Dolph and Yo Gotti came up. But Shiesty's story hits different. He followed in his father's footsteps. His dad was a well-known figure who even started a label called Mob Ties back in 2006. His pops had serious street cred. After being convicted for helping in a major crime involving a local DJ, he was put on supervised parole. Even under the law's watchful eye, he still found ways to hustle and build. One day, after months of surveillance, Memphis police came crashing through that spot, ready for action.
Films of that fire gift, bro. I appreciate you.
OTF, what is you talking about? Why you say it like that for? Come on, get your picture, man, before you get beat up.
Oh, wait, my phone.
Strange.
When they raided the spot, the police found all kinds of evidence: measuring cups by the stove, digital scales on the counter, 12.5 grams of powder, 8 pounds of kush, and over $10,000 tucked in Shy's father's pocket. That's the world Pushy grew up in, the real deal. No fake stories with his pops. Constantly in and out of trouble, young Shy grew up tough. He was that wild kid on the block, always into something, pulling slick moves, getting into fights, and finding ways to make a name for himself. That's how he earned the nickname Shy, always plotting, always one step ahead. By the time high school rolled around, he had already built a solid circle. He teamed up with his day one friend Big 30 from Whitehaven, plus Lil Hank, Aunt WPP, and a few more from the neighborhood.
Oh, I'm 4K Dre.
Who?
Rakai, what the man?
You said what?
You could
I ain't good for him.
Together, they
Ain't
created
no-
what we now know as Chopper Gang, and that name became legendary fast. Now, let us talk about Big 30. He has been locked in with Shy from the very start. Big 30 was pulling millions of streams every month and even got a record deal before Shy did. What makes him stand out, though, is his loyalty. He never switched up. Before things really took off, Big 30 got arrested in Alabama on serious drug-related charges and was later sent back to Memphis. For another case he was already fighting. Once he made bond, he came right back, dropping music with the same energy. His first day out track went crazy. That's the kind of solid people Shy keeps close. In a wild case of mistaken identity, another member of the crew ended up facing a serious murder charge along with 2 attempted ones. But here's where things took a dramatic turn for Shy. Back in 2021, right when his career was blowing up, especially after Back in Blood with Lil Durk started climbing the charts, he got caught up in major federal trouble. According to police and prosecutor reports, Shy was allegedly involved in a chaotic parking lot shootout in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. And get this, it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall.
The barrage of bullets sending 2 people to the hospital.
Part of a setup involved someone in Miami who was trying to sell him high-end sneakers and other goods. Authorities said Shy showed up with 2 people who ended up firing shots, sending one man to the hospital afterwards. They said Shy sped off in a green McLaren, got arrested shortly after, and flew out of the state on a private jet, straight out of a movie scene. But the feds don't mess around when it comes to interstate cases involving firearms. They make examples out of anyone. Eventually, Shy decided to take a plea deal and was sentenced to federal prison time. During his time locked up, most of the industry seemed to forget about him. Artists he thought were close stopped mentioning his name, stopped posting, and stopped showing love altogether. But there was one person who stayed loyal through it all, Lil Durk. That's where the real bond shows. While Shy was sitting in that federal cell, Durk was one of the only rappers in the industry who consistently checked in on him and even sent money. Every show, every interview, Durk never stopped showing love to Shy. He made sure the world didn't forget his name. On stage, he would always shout, "Free Pooh Shy," keeping that energy alive, even when everyone else had moved on. He'd say, "We got to do this one time for our little bro Shy, right? When I say free, y'all say free." The crowd would go crazy every single time. For anyone who doesn't understand the street side of things, here's how it works when you're locked up, especially on serious federal charges. Most artists in the industry start keeping their distance. They don't want to be too connected because the authorities monitor everything closely. Showing too much support can bring extra eyes and unwanted heat on their own careers. But Durk didn't care about that. He stood by Shy through everything. He kept his name alive, kept fans hyped, and made sure people remembered what Shy brought to the game. That level of loyalty is rare, especially in a music world where people drop you the second you're no longer beneficial. So, when Shy finally came home, it wasn't just about being thankful, it was about being solid for life. He was officially locked in with F and everything Durk stands for. That's real respect. Real brotherhood. Now, let's talk about the moment that's got everyone online buzzing. Shy was on Bendon's live stream, just chilling, snapping pics with fans, and having a good time when all of a sudden some real industry tension started to bubble up. So, check this out. During the stream, a female fan came up to take a picture with Shy. Everything was chill until he casually asked her who her favorite rapper was, without hesitation. She said she didn't really mess with Lil Durk, basically making it clear she wasn't a fan of his boy. Right then, you could see the whole vibe switch up fast. His face went from cool and relaxed to straight serious. That hit deep because of how tight he and Durk really are. You could see the shift in his eyes. That wasn't just some random fan moment, it felt personal. It was like she disrespected the one person who held him down when the world turned its back. Shy looked like he was fighting to keep his cool. You could tell he was heated, trying not to react as strong on camera, especially with everyone watching live. The real tension came a few moments later when streamer Rock High decided to stir things up. While on call with Ben during the stream, Rock High, trying to be funny, said, "I'm for KT, which is NBA YoungBoy's crew." Now, here's the wild part. Instead of reacting right away, Shy played it off like he didn't know what that meant. He said, "I'm for K-Trey." Who, me, acting clueless with a smirk on his face like it was all a joke. For KT is NBA YoungBoy's crew, and everybody in the rap game knows exactly what that name represents. So, when Shy acted like he didn't know what for KT meant, it wasn't because he was clueless, it was because he didn't even want to acknowledge anything tied to YoungBoy's camp. That move wasn't simple avoidance, it was a straight-up message. Total dismissal. But you know how it goes. NBA YoungBoy's team wasn't about to just let that slide. One of his for KT members quickly fired back, dropping a video that tried to expose Shy for being a YoungBoy fan while he was still locked up. They pulled out old footage from a podcast Shy did from behind bars, where someone asked him what kind of music he'd been listening to. Shy said clearly, "They drop an album every day on the tablet. I listen to that every day." And just like that, the internet went crazy. The clip spread fast, with for KT members laughing and calling him out for pretending he didn't know YoungBoy, even though according to them, he used to play his music all the time while in prison. The caption they used for the video was wild too. It said, "I understand, Pooh. You wanted to be NBA but picked the wrong side by mistake. Imagine you could have been one of us." That's some next level trolling right there. Let's break down why Shy really made the choice to stand by Lil Durk. Because this goes way deeper than just music politics or label ties. When you're as close to Durk as Shy is, you automatically take on his battles. 2. That's just how the game works, no exaggeration. The long-standing tension between Chicago and Louisiana, between Durk's camp and YoungBoy's, has been brewing for years. But things got way more personal once it started involving people who lost their lives in real situations outside of music. Every lyric, every post, every comment gets watched and broken down by both fans and rivals. So, you can't play neutral once you pick your side. For Shy, though, this isn't just about choosing sides randomly, it's about loyalty and brotherhood. He and Dirk weren't just industry friends. They were moving like family. They pull up to each other's neighborhoods and in street culture. That means real trust. That's not something you do with just anybody. Think about it, your block is your foundation. It's where you learn the game, where your people live, where your story started. So, when you let someone from another city pull up and feel safe in your area, that says everything. It means you're family. I trust you, you got my back no matter what. And here's what really sealed it. When Shy was locked up and most of the music industry stopped mentioning his name, Dirk stayed solid. He was constantly shouting "Free Pooh Shie" during shows, keeping his name alive in every interview, and even checking on his family to make sure they were good. Let's keep it real, this whole situation is risky for everyone involved. NBA YoungBoy has one of the most loyal and protective teams in the game, and they don't take any kind of disrespect lightly. When you speak on Whip, you're not just dealing with one artist, you're dealing with an entire movement that stands behind him with full force. For KT, his crew has people all across Louisiana, and they ride hard for their leader. And then there's the fan base. YB supporters are some of the most passionate and vocal fans in hip-hop. If someone says something that sounds like shade, they jump on it instantly online, in comment sections, everywhere. They defend their favorite artists like it's personal. That intensity makes every situation twice as serious. Now, Shy knows exactly what kind of pressure comes with that. He understands that picking sides could affect his image and career. But instead of chasing fame or staying neutral, he chose loyalty. That's what makes the story wild. The thing is, Shy and NBA YoungBoy never really had direct problems with each other. But because of the long-running tension between Dirk and YoungBoy, Shy automatically ended up on the opposite side. That's how deep loyalty runs. Sometimes supporting one person means you inherit all their rivalries, even if you never had personal issues with the other side. And what makes it even more complex is a Memphis connection. Shy represents a whole different culture. Memphis moves by its own rules, its own codes, its own sense of loyalty. Shy's situation goes way beyond just picking sides in a rap rivalry. It's about loyalty, gratitude, and understanding that in this game, your connections can shape who your allies and rivals are. When Dirk stood by Shy through his darkest days, that created a bond deeper than any song or collaboration. It's a real-life connection built on trust and respect, and let's be honest, this tension between the two camps is far from over. Both sides have serious influence, real credibility, and massive fan bases that are ready to back their favorite artists no matter what. Things could heat up fast, and every move from here on out will be watched closely by everyone in the industry. At the end of the day, loyalty is everything in this world. But that loyalty can come with a heavy price tag. Shy is paying that price right now by standing firm on his choice and sticking with the people who never turn their backs on him. Whether it pays off in the long run or not, only time will tell. What do you think about all this? Did Shy make the right call by staying loyal to Dirk, even if it meant more tension with the other side? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to like and subscribe for more hip-hop updates and inside stories. This is your boy signing off. Stay sharp, gang.